Okay, so get this. Right now, as we're speaking, AI is literally writing code. And I don't mean just helping developers find a bug or two. I mean it is writing the code. The scale of this is, well, it's staggering. And this one fact is completely reshaping the entire tech industry. So how did this happen? 30%. Seriously, just let that number sit there for a moment. 30%. This isn't some tiny experimental number we're talking about here. This is a massive, industry-defining chunk of the pie. But 30% of what exactly? That's the real question, right? You heard me. 30% of all new code getting pushed to GitHub. You know, GitHub, only the world's largest home for code. And here's the kicker, just 3 years ago in 2021, that number was 0. A big fat 0. The speed of this change is it's almost unbelievable. So how on earth did we get here so fast? I mean, this wasn't some gradual, slow-moving shift. It was an explosion. We're going to walk through the story of this 3-year revolution, how we went from a world where humans wrote 100% of the code to a world where a machine is one of the busiest programmers on the entire planet. Okay, so let's just look at the timeline, because it really tells the story. Picture this. Before the middle of 2021, everything was done by hand, every single line of code. Then, GitHub Copilot drops. At first, people were curious, maybe a little skeptical, but that didn't last long. The adoption curve went almost straight up. By 2023, it already had over 1 million paying subscribers. And now, here we are, just a year later, and AI is hitting that 30% mark. It's not a niche tool anymore. It's officially mainstream. All right, so when we say 30%, what are we actually talking about? It's really important to understand that this isn't just one single tool doing all the work. Nope, it's a whole ecosystem that's just popped up, and it's completely changing how developers do their jobs, day in and day out. Let's break that down a bit. Yeah, okay, so GitHub Copilot is definitely the big dog in the room. It's got about 55% of the market, but it is far from the only game in town. You've got these other really powerful tools like Cursor AI and Codium that are grabbing big chunks for themselves. So this isn't a monopoly at all. It's a super competitive, booming market. And all that competition is just pushing the tech forward even faster. And don't think this is just happening in one obscure coding language. No way. This is happening across the board. And it's hitting the biggest, most popular languages the hardest. Take Python, the go-to for data science and AI stuff. More than 35% of new Python code is coming from AI. And JavaScript and Java, they're right behind. It just shows you how deep and widespread this whole thing is. Okay, I've got another number for you, and this one might be even more important. 55%. And this isn't about how much code the AI is spitting out. This is about something way more critical. How much of that code is actually, good? So this is what the industry calls the acceptance rate. And what that means is more than half the time, 55% of the time to be exact, when an AI suggests a chunk of code, the developer goes, yep, that's good, and uses it. They just drop it right into the project. So the AI isn't just throwing spaghetti at the wall here. It's producing really useful, relevant stuff. To put it simply, more often than not, it's getting it right. And this is where it gets really nuts. That high acceptance rate, it translates into productivity gains that are just jaw-dropping. I mean, look at this. Writing documentation, which, let's be honest, no one loves doing, is suddenly 67% faster. Writing tests, another super important but kind of tedious job, 60% faster. We're not talking about a tiny little boost here. Devs using these tools are, in some cases, literally working twice as fast as before. Okay, so the numbers are huge, they're impressive, I get it, but the real question is, what does all this mean for you? Because whether you're a developer who's been doing this for 20 years, a manager trying to run a team, or someone who's just starting to learn to code, believe me, this shift is rewriting all the rules. All right, first up, let's talk to the developers, the people actually on the front lines. If you're writing code every day, what does this new world actually look like for you? Here's the simple truth. These tools, they're not toys or novelties anymore. They're essential. They're like the new keyboard and mouse. The person sitting next to you who's using AI is getting things done up to twice as fast. That means your job is changing. Your value isn't just about banging out syntax anymore. It's about thinking at a higher level, designing the architecture, solving the real problems. And if you're not using these tools, you're basically choosing to fall behind. Okay, so what if you're not a developer, but you run a company that hires developers? How does this completely change your game plan? Well, for businesses, the strategy is actually crystal clear. You invest in these tools for your team. We're talking about something that can cost as little as $10 a month per person. And for that, you speed up your entire development process. You ship new features faster, you crush bugs faster, and you will absolutely leave competitors who are stuck in the old way of doing things in the dust. The ROI here, it's just massive. And last but not least, what if you're just starting out? If you're learning to code right now, wow, you are walking into a totally different universe than someone who started just a few years ago. Think about it. The old way was all about spending months just memorizing weird syntax rules and having 50 tabs of Stack Overflow open trying to find an answer. The new way? It's like having a senior developer as your partner 24/7. The AI handles the boring syntax stuff so you can focus on the fun part, the actual problem solving. We're seeing the time it takes to become a useful, productive developer shrink from months down to just a few weeks. The barrier to getting into this field has literally never, ever been lower. So look, this isn't where the story ends. This is really just the first page of a brand new chapter. The direction we're headed in is unmistakable. We're moving toward a future where AI is woven into the very fabric of how we build software. And if you thought 30% was a big number, hold onto your hat. Just look at where the experts think this is going. Big names like Gartner are projecting that by 2030, that's just a few years away, somewhere between 70 and 90% of all code will be AI generated. What we're seeing right now, this is just the warm-up act. The future of software is a collaboration between humans and machines. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? The main thing to get is that this isn't about humans being replaced. It's about the job evolving. The role of a developer isn't going away, it's just leveling up. The most valuable skill you can have isn't memorizing syntax anymore. It's being the architect, the one who designs the blueprint and then guides the AI to build the skyscraper. We're moving from being code writers to code architects. Look, we are right in the middle of a massive transformation. The very tools we use to build our digital world have fundamentally changed. They've gotten smarter. And that changes the job forever. So really, there's only one question left to ask yourself. The tools have changed. Are you ready to change with them?